Hi, I'm Randy at Kentville Toyota, and today we're going to do a quick walk around on a 2025 Prius XSE Premium. Let's have a look. Hi everybody, it's Randy from Kentville Toyota. I just want to let you know that if you're in the market for a used vehicle, please look us up at Kentville Toyota and mention the YouTube videos and we'll have a special incentive for you. Thanks for your business. So here we are at the front of the 2025 Prius. Last year this was called a Prius Prime. Today it's just called a Prius plug-in. So Toyota has changed the naming on their plug-in hybrids for 2025. The Prius Prime as well as the RAV Prime, same vehicle, changed the name. They're just calling them the Prius plug-in. So first impact is this color is new. It's only available on Prius currently. This is called Guardian Gray. I like it. It's blue, it's gray, it's a little bit of everything. I think it looks good on the body lines of this vehicle. It's got some nice accents here. So on the front side, obviously, we have the front-facing sensors for parking, sonar, and for pedestrian detection. You have a little accent piece down below that is chrome, which I think still goes well with the gray. I'm sorry, but I wish that wasn't there. It is there. This vehicle is a worldwide platform, so they're built in Japan for the entire planet. Lots of places you have to have a front plate. In Nova Scotia right now, you do not have a front plate, and I wish we had a different way of hiding that, but we don't. Still better than the old bolt-on ugly mess that used to be on the previous versions where you bolted through the fender. But anyway, it is what it is. We're not about to change it, and I'll just shut my mouth and carry on. Come along to this side. You do have LED projector headlight right at the leading edge of the hood. I do like that. It's a very sleek, sporty look, and really this is quite a sporty car. Traditionally, Prius has not been thought of as being a sporty car, but this current generation, 24 and 25, they really upped their game. This as the plug-in version. This car has almost 300 horsepower with a full charge and with the gas engine running. This thing will go like a scared cat. Again, that's generally not what people are buying a Prius for, but it's kind of fun that you can get ridiculously good fuel economy. You can drive on full electric, or if you were forced to, you could drag race with it. Again, we're not recommending you should drag race anything unless you're on a closed course. So let's come around to the driver's side and see what we see for accents. So here we are. We're going to start at the front of the 2025 Prius. First thing you'll see is this really good looking wheel. It's a 19-inch low profile wheel. Very sporty look, really, good ground clearance for the car. Visually, I like it. It's a really nice accent piece. The black goes well with the gray, with the high gloss wheel arch. We come back here, down the body line a little further. Obviously, you've got black high gloss mirror camera here for some of the safety features to go with the vehicle. Color match door handle on this particular trim level. I believe it is on all of them. And we'll come back here, I'll switch around, and the door handle is here, hidden up in the pillar, so that this is a four-door car that does not appear to have four doors. And again, because batteries die in cars and batteries die in keys, Toyota has remembered that there is an actual physical release right there that will open that door. Now you need a pretty strong finger, but you can literally shove that down and it's a physical mechanism that will release that rear door. Come back around to this side. This is the actual gas door. Gas release is on the inside on the floor on this Prius. High gloss wheel arch again wraps around another 19-inch wheel. Another sensor for rear backup and for parking. It's kind of an interesting subset is that we've got a 19-inch wheel on a Prius, and traditionally our Prius drivers they've been econo boxes. They've been incredibly reliable. They've been good value. They've given us ridiculous fuel economy, but most of them came with a 15-inch or a 16-inch wheel. This 19-inch wheel is a bit of a separation from the lineage that the family name of the Prius. Some of the customers are not really loving this, so they're going to a smaller wheel and tire package that you can actually go to the SE, so the entry-level trim. You can put a noticeably smaller wheel and tire package on this vehicle for winter tires. It does affect the ride height a little bit and the overall ride. On our winter roads, that low profile, large wheel, a little rough and a little not real sustainable because we've got potholes here that are pretty near waist deep now. So when you do purchase one of these Priuses, a lot of our customers are going with an aftermarket wheel and tire package for your winter wheels just to give you a little more durability. So let's come back around to the back of the vehicle and visually have a look at the rear of the car. So here we are at the rear of the 2025 Prius XSE. Visually, what do I see? Obviously the name Prius is clearly marked across the back. We have a couple of different cameras here. Two different camera angles. One is just for your backup camera. Because this is the top trim, it does give you a bird's eye view inside the passenger compartment. If you put it in reverse, you can see as if you're looking down in the vehicle. That's one of the cameras for that. Prius Prime, again, Toyota has changed the badging on these vehicles just to denote all of our hybrids now come with that particular emblem on them that denotes that they are a hybrid vehicle. Being the Prime essentially says that it is a plug-in vehicle. Our hybrids with the Prime added onto them, as far as language goes, basically indicates that it's a plug-in vehicle as well. So this particular one, lots of sensors here on the rear. I like the high gloss black accent on the lower on the bumper. So I come back along here, there is a release. I'll try that. Okay, so this particular trim comes with the power lift gate. And as I've said with some of the newer Toyotas, the 24s and 25s, Toyota has finally come around to adding two buttons to the rear for closing. Button number one is just to close the rear hatch. Button number two is to close and lock, because in a lot of cases, if you close this, you walk away from your vehicle, you've got to wait for this to completely latch before the vehicle can be locked. So if you're going across a parking lot, you can't get too far away from the car, your key fob won't work to lock it. So they've remedied that with most of our 25s for sure, and some of our 24s. In this case, if I press that particular button, it will not work because the key is in the vehicle. It's giving me an audible warning saying, hey, you can't lock this, the key's in, but the automatic lock will work. So it goes back down. It's pretty quick. It's quite a bit quicker than the previous versions of this with the power hatch. So it's getting faster over time, which is a nice feature just for convenience for the drivers. So let's open it back up and actually look inside and see what we see. So from here, obviously this is a plug-in hybrid. So the plug-in cable comes with that vehicle, comes with all of our plug-in hybrids. Default, it goes into a standard 110 volt cord in your garage, the outside of your home, whatever you want. Charge times on this vehicle in, let's say daytime, June, 20 degrees outside, overall charge time on this vehicle is somewhere between 7 and 9 hours to get a full charge. Winter, obviously, is going to charge a little slower, and you can go with a level 2 charger on these. It goes 220 volts, higher amperage, and you can cut that charge time to less than half if you choose to make that investment. Most of our customers have decided that this is fast enough because every evening your car comes home, they just plug it in, leave it plugged in, and it'll charge. When you do have it plugged in, to release this cable is kind of interesting. I'll give you a quick demonstration on the next leg of this video. So let's go back to the inside. We pull up the floor covering, and as you can see, there is no spare tire in this vehicle. They're trying to keep the weight down to keep your fuel economy up, and instead they give you a first aid kit for your tires. So you take this 19-inch wheel, you punch a hole in it. This is a tire repair kit. You've got I'm going to say CAA. For 3 years, this car comes with roadside assistance. If this doesn't work, you're going to have to call roadside. Anyway, it's not my decision. The vehicles don't come with spare tires anymore, but most of the manufacturers have done it because of weight. These do work provided you do not have a great big gaping hole in the tire on the vehicle. So that stays in here. Security in place. Actually, pretty reasonable cargo space in this vehicle. You can take this privacy shade off just for a little better access, but again, it's just hanging there. It's not going to impede you much. So one thing I really like about this vehicle that I see is on this side of the vehicle, there is 120 volt, 1500 watt conventional plug-in for a cooler, charge your laptop, whatever you're doing. If you need some regular 110 volt electricity in this vehicle, it is available right there, which is a nice feature. It's well fused, so you can't hurt the car. It will not allow you to drain either the 12 volt battery or the high voltage battery. The technology will not allow you to kill the car. Let's open this up and see what we found, because I really have no idea what this is. I should probably lift this first before I start ripping other things apart. And this is, there we go. Okay, that is where your 12 volt battery lives. So in a case when this battery dies, and this battery will die, it's inevitable, 12 volt batteries will only last so long. When you're boosting this car, this is the boost point. So when you need to boost this vehicle, you need to understand where that is and how to do it. So when you take delivery of any vehicle from Kentville Toyota or any other store around the country, ask your sales professional, how do I boost my car when my battery dies? Because your battery will die. It's just a matter of when. Maybe 10 years down the road. Let's hope it is. But whenever that is, you need to understand how to do it safely so you're not going to fry anything on the car, because there's a lot of technology in here that needs to be looked after. So here we are back, as I mentioned earlier, we're back at the charge side of the vehicle. So passenger side of the car is where the charging port is. This vehicle is unlocked, so we press this, automatically releases, open it up, and the charge pin, take the cover off. Again, this was just in the trunk of this vehicle or under the hatch. Snap it in place, like so. Now it's locked in. Normally, if this were actually plugged into the outlet, the little blue light here would light up, all good to go, just to indicate to you that the car is taking charge. Now, when it's charging, you cannot just pull this off of here. And even though it's not charging, it locks in. The car essentially sets a lock on this, and the only way to unplug this is to unlock the car and have the key with you. If the key's not with you, you cannot detach this. So if you're sitting in a public place or even in your own backyard or your parking space, at your apartment, in your condo, wherever you are, you cannot, no one can just randomly walk by and unplug your car for you. That safety feature is built in. You need to be in possession of the key fob, and you need to release it before you can unplug this, whether it's charging or not charging. Nice safety feature, and also prevents this from being stolen, because these are not cheap to replace. So let's go back inside and have a look at some of the features on the interior of this vehicle. So here we are in the driver's seat, or partially in the driver's seat of the 2025 Prius. The things that I see functionality-wise, we have a programmable driver's seat, two preset programs for driver and secondary driver. Control-wise, there's lots and lots of tech here. Automatic headlights are standard feature on this vehicle. That is, there's a switch here to turn them on. There is the cowling, where your wipers park on most Toyota vehicles. They've added a feature where the bottom piece of glass down where your wipers sit, you can heat that to keep them from icing up, and there's the switch for that. The the heated steering wheel is there. You can turn the power on off to the 120 volt AC outlet in the rear. Here on my left, way down low, we've got the rear hatch release that you can do both with the key fob, the rear hatch, as well as this button, and your gas door release is here as well. Trip odometer settings to my right. So this car is running. Obviously it's in EV mode, so it's the gas engine is not running. It's a little quieter than it would be with most of our vehicles, and we're allowed to do this in the showroom. So really nice technology here. Wireless charging that is vertical rather than horizontal. Traditionally our wireless chargers have been horizontal up in this position. Again, it worked fine, but there were some issues with your phone sliding around, cornering, bumps, those kind of things. So this charging position to drop in this slot is very handy. I really like that feature. Your automatic park brake is here, your drive mode select is here, EV mode, essentially your transmission modes and your electrical modes are here. This particular unit, because it is the higher trim, does come with a heated and cooled ventilated front seats for both your driver and your passenger. And then we have obviously wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto built into the head unit, so you can mirror your phone and take advantage of all the technology that is here. So the drive modes you can select, you know, essentially drive as a hybrid, you can drive as an electric. In ideal conditions, upwards of about 75 kilometers. Winter in Canada at -10, -12, that driving range is probably going to drop to mid 40s, so 45, 48 kilometers on full electric. And again, if your heated seats are on, your heated steering wheel is on, the heat's on full, you're going to cut that range down depending on how much electricity you're using in the functionality of some of the creature comforts in your vehicle. So with everything turned on full and it's -15 outside, this vehicle will probably have a range of around 40 kilometers. And once you go colder than that, the vehicle does not have the capacity to keep itself warm, or keep you warm as a human in this vehicle. To drive the car, you may not need more electricity. Is that if you're asking for more heat than the system can generate using electricity, it will start the gas engine and harvest that heat to put back in the passenger compartment. So in Canada, there is some practical usability issues with these vehicles that you need to be aware of before you make your purchase. Is that us explaining it after you've had what you feel is a negative experience doesn't help anybody. So we need to talk about it up front and talk about the usability of the electric portion of this car in true cold winter conditions here in Canada. So full transparency, fantastic vehicle, best fuel economy, best everything in ideal summer conditions, winter conditions, depending on your needs for heat, electricity, and comfort, is that your range is going to shrink disproportionately as to how comfortable you want to be. Let's go back to some of the features. So Very large sunroof. It is in two portions. Obviously you do need some structure, so it is subdivided front and back. It has a manual cover here that you can open and close on both the front and the rear. And what else I see? The audio in this vehicle, because it is a top trim, it has a JBL, let's try that in English, JBL audio system that has 12 speakers built in, and the audio dynamics in this vehicle cabin are really fantastic. Hard for us to capture that in this format, but if you get a chance to sit in one, put on your favorite piece of music, and you'll find that this really is very, very enjoyable to listen to. Just about anything in here, and especially in electric mode, because the car itself is so quiet otherwise. Just for the heck of it, I am going to preset this seat where I'm comfortable. Then we're going to go in the back seat and do a comparison and just see how much space I have as a passenger. So again, 5'10". I'm in my comfort zone here is my seating position, so I'm going to go in the back and see if it feels like punishment back there or whether it's comfortable. Let's go have a look. So here we are in the rear of the Prius. I know I said I was going to set the driver's seat and sit there and see if it was comfortable. We couldn't. The lighting's a little goofy here while we're filming, so I've got to make it plausible for you to see it and me to do it. So I've adjusted the passenger seat to match where the driver's seat was. I'm going to close this simply because I'm getting scalded by the sun. And I've got to say, this seat is really comfortable. I'm pretty happy with this. I do have a long torso, and my hair, again, I don't have particularly long hair or tall hair, but I am really close to the roof line of this vehicle. But again, I'm really comfortable. I'm not actually touching anything. I don't have any complaints about back here. The seating cushion is way more comfortable than I expected it to be, and the angle for my back as a passenger here is really fantastic. We've got lots of latch points for car seats, so new and growing family, no problem to latch in your child seats here. You do have a storage pocket on the rear of the passenger side front seat. Armrest here. Again, you can put 3 people here. 2 car seats would be lots unless you've got really small children, and anyway, then this is probably not the car for you. You need a Sienna. Armrest, great height for me. 2 cup holders. That's very user-friendly, pretty simple here. Yeah, no complaints here. And I've got to say, overall, very comfortable for rear passenger. Headroom is not ideal, but again, this is a smaller car, and it is a hybrid, so you can't make the car bigger and have all the features of a smaller hybrid vehicle in the fuel economy if it becomes a bus. So yeah, overall, pretty pleased with this, really. Obviously, we have heated seats in the rear of this vehicle for both rear passengers. You do have 2 USB-C charging ports down here for all your toys and your tech. And miraculously, there is another 110 volt, 1500, yep, same idea, it's 1500 watt charging port, again, for cooler, computer, anything you need that is not huge electrical demand. You can plug in with a conventional charger there with a regular plug like you'd use in your household. So here we are at the front of the 2025 Prius plug-in. And again, I always go from right to left. There's the little mechanism. I think that's it. So it's a bit of a lift on this one. Lift and open. Grab the prop rod. And there's the mount point for that. So here we are under the hood of this 2025 plug-in Prius. Pretty complicated piece of technology here. For Toyota, this is standard fare. Don't need to worry about it. The longevity is ridiculous. But as a consumer, what I see is a 2-liter naturally aspirated gasoline engine paired with our hybrid drive here on this end. As a consumer, the things you're going to need to know. There's where to check your oil, right there. There are the 2 reservoirs. Now there are 2 reservoirs here for coolant. On all of our hybrids, there's a hybrid inverter, and the inverter does one thing specifically. It goes from high voltage from your high voltage battery that's in the rear of the car, near the rear seats, and it converts that into lower voltage. So the voltage changes from AC to DC, high voltage to low voltage, and when you have an inverter doing that, it actually generates a fair amount of heat. So there's a cooler in there, essentially another radiator, that dissipates that heat from the inverter, and that inverter cooler has its own coolant, which does need to be serviced. Most people, it's about once every 5 or 6 years, depending on your kilometers. The pH of your coolant changes, and it needs to be looked after just so that it doesn't deteriorate the interior of the car. So that's why there are 2 coolant reservoirs. They're transparent, so you can see what's in them and see the levels. And the really thing you're going to interface with is There's your coolant, your washer fluid, not your coolant. Don't put coolant in there, and don't put washer fluid in the other one. So this is for your washer fluid to just keep your windshield clean. Again, this drivetrain, this 2-liter drivetrain is being used in a lot of our platforms. Incredibly reliable. That paired with the larger motors in this vehicle gives you great horsepower, great economy, and great performance. So, you know, overall, the average consumer is not going to do much up here. You're going to check your oil, you're going to put your coolant in, you're going to check the reservoir levels periodically to make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. And that's about it. So I'm Randy at Kentville Toyota. I really appreciate your time today. Comment in the comment section, like, subscribe, do all the things that you're supposed to do on social media to help us keep alive and keep me doing my job to the best of my ability, even though you may not respect how much ability I have. So either way, hope you've enjoyed this. If nothing else, I've made you chuckle about my ridiculous lack of knowledge. Thanks very much. Bye now. Hey folks, it's Randy from Kentville Toyota, and today we're going to talk about this new 2025 Toyota Prius Limited all-wheel drive. So, it's strange enough, this vehicle, we were planning on doing this video a couple of days ago. This car was spick and span and clean, but where we live, we have a bit of pollen. So the car's got a lovely yellowy brown patina on it covered in pollen. But anyway, I swear it's a new car and it doesn't always look like this. So this is the front of the 2025 Prius. This is a limited package. So LED headlights, standard feature on this trim. Tow hook is behind there just in case you do go off the road. That is a good safe place for someone to help you get back on the road. Lots of sensors. Forward facing sonar is for park assist on this vehicle. You also have a host of cameras and other safety features in the windshield of this vehicle that gives you frontal collision avoidance, your radar cruise control, proximity sensors. All that stuff is part of the safety features of this vehicle. As we come around this side, again, nice. This is a pearl white finish, which we really like on most of the Toyota products. It's a common color for us on our upper trims. So here we are at the driver's side of the 2025 Prius. Again, sonar sensor here on the front side. Nice contrast. You get the high gloss wheel arch covers on this trim of the vehicle. It goes well with the nice. You get a nice body offset. A big 18-inch wheel. Great ride quality, good fuel economy, and it visually looks really good on this vehicle. High gloss wheel arches matched to the high gloss mirror. So the black and white, all the black features, well, not all the black features, but these black features are high gloss and they go nicely with the contrast of the vehicle. Because this is a Toyota and they've been doing this for a long time, you can lock and unlock your doors as long as your key is with you just by swiping on the door. The all-wheel drive signia on the lower fascia of the door, just letting you know this is the all-wheel drive version, not the plug-in version, or the last year it was called a Prius Prime, this year it's just called a plug-in Prius. So as you come back here a little further on the vehicle, you can see another high gloss feature on the black between the dividers of the windows. And as with all Priuses, the rear door handle is hidden, and it's up here in the latch system. And again, there's also a mechanical unlock there in case the battery is dead or when the battery is dead. You can depress this and unlock the door mechanically there because this is an electric switch and that is a mechanical switch. So as I said before, locking gas cover standard on all of our hybrid products, this one included. And again, we come back around to the rear, another high gloss accent next to the reflector and sonar there again. So let's come around to the back. We'll have a quick look at the hatch, look at the space and configuration. So here we are at the back of the 2025 Prius. Again, limited trim, lots of sensors in the rear for safety, for your backup. You're also, this particular trim level has the digital rear camera. On the inside, it's really impressive. Obviously, we can't see it here. I'm not sure why I'm talking about it, but here we are. So power hatch on this particular trim. Single touch, away you go as long as the vehicle's unlocked, the key's with you. So really high angles. This opens up wide open for easy access, gets completely up and out of your way, which is nice. Comes standard with both carpeted and a rubber mat. And there is no spare tire in the Prius product. They're trying to keep the weight down. There is a repair kit that comes within this vehicle. Surprisingly, nice high floor. It's easy access for groceries and things in and out. A lot of people will take this out, but it is a safety feature so that people cannot see the packages that are in the rear hatch of the vehicle. So up here, Toyota has changed for 2025 for most of our product. They've added this lovely button, which is close and lock. It used to be that you would close the gate, walk away, and you'd be constantly clicking your key fob trying to lock the car as you moved away. On this one, you should be able to press this, it'll close and lock, but of course it's not going to work because the key is in the car. If the key wasn't in the car, that would have worked flawlessly and it would have looked like this, worked properly, and then you would have heard it beep again when it locked, but I didn't set this up right, so it didn't work right. But anyway, it makes for an entertaining walk around. So we're gonna have a look at some of the features on the inside of the car and see what we can find. So here we are at the driver's door of the 2025 Prius all-wheel drive. This is not the plug-in version, that's why I didn't call it a plug-in version. And because it is a limited trim, it does have programmable both seat and power steering wheel for program 1 and B. Yes, 1 and 2, or A and B, take your pick. They say 1 and 2, so that two different drivers can pre-program the seating position and the angle of the steering wheel, the depth of the steering wheel on your own. So, as with all Toyotas, as the hybrid, you do have a locked gas door here. There's the unlock. There's the switch for the power gate. It does have automatic headlights, heated steering wheel, as well as the heated cowling down where your wipers park. Toyota's been adding that to most of our vehicles for well over a decade now, and it's a lovely feature in our slushy, sloppy springs and falls. So I'm going to hop in the driver's seat and show you a few features and just see the overall layout of the car. Okay, so I'm going to close this just to get rid of some glare. So I'm just going to start this vehicle because it's about 1,000 degrees out right now. I know that dinging is going to drive you guys crazy, but I'm just going to ignore it for a second. So the layout of this vehicle is very similar to the new BZ4X that I've been driving a fair bit over the last couple of days. A little smaller steering wheel, very compact. Whoops, don't need the music, although it's very lovely. The layout is virtually identical. Your cruise control is here on the right, the audio controls and the display controls are here on the left. The biggest thing that I see on this vehicle compared to the previous generation and what is really similar to the BZ or our fully electric platform is the new display. That display, the position of it, it's almost like having a heads-up display on your vehicle, except it's physical. So it's lots of data there, lots of different configurations available for you to see, the layout of the car. There's all kinds of information to be had. So on these controls, the cooled seat is currently turned on because it's really hot, and I'm really enjoying the cooled seat here because it's so hot today. The front defrost, rear defrost, very typical for all Toyotas and most manufacturers. AC is very self-explanatory. The location of the vent grills on this one is nice. It's all below the displays. Gives you lots of opportunity for air circulation. Very happy with that. One of the big things that I see in this vehicle is this magical rear view camera that turns into your rear view mirror. So right now there's nothing behind us, but I can put objects in the rear of this car, and the visibility of the view through this vehicle, if it were full or if there's somebody behind you, is exceptional. I've got to say that is the best quality rear view camera that I've seen in any of our vehicles so far. Pretty happy with it. Generally, the layout here, very Toyota. This is the new control panel that is on all the Priuses. Again, very similar to the newer products that are coming in our EV lines. And our new hybrid lines will all be very similar to this in layout. The next generation, you're actually going to lose this shifter and it becomes a drive-by-wire and all push button. There are two well-powered USB-Cs here, plus an old-school conventional 12-volt port. Different drive modes are all controlled here on the console. Both EV mode, your park brake hold, all the control modules are here. And this is a lovely vertical wireless IQ charger, which they've added to this generation of the car. Has an on-off switch. When I traditionally drive this vehicle or one like this, I will use that just to hold my phone, let alone whether it's charging or not. The previous generation, the charging was up here, worked great. Wasn't quite as secure. Is that your phone tend to bounce around a little bit, and you could lose your phone in some situations. So this actually keeps it more secure. You know where it is, and again, you're not prone to look at it because the screen is hidden from view. So I've got the seat set here for me. Again, I'm 5'10", I have an unusually long torso and shorter legs for someone who's my height. So I've got this set for me, again, short legged. I'm gonna go sit in the back seat, see what the leg room is like. The last time I was in one of these Priuses, I think it was a Prime, I did find it a little tight, but this is a different model year, so let's compare. Let's go have a look back there. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna approach from the side, hop in. Okay. And again, this seat is really comfortable. This is not a complaint about the seat. This is obviously it's a true leather interior because this is a limited trim. Now these are heated leather seats, which is lovely. There's two nice USB-C charging ports down there. Lovely feature. I'm not sure why there's only one pocket, but there's only a pocket on the passenger side, not on the driver's side. There's probably some fabulous engineering reason that there's none here, but I don't know what it might be, but I could make something up, but that would not be helpful. So it is comfortable here, but again, at my height and my thinning hair is still touching the roof. If I were any taller than I am now, again, long torso, so the average 6-foot human would probably be able to sit here quite comfortably. But if you had a fedora on or some sort of a large hat, big hair, it might be irritating because I don't like my head touching things while I'm in here. But again, great seating quality. It's very comfortable, but I think I would find me slouching like this if I needed to drive a long distance, and that wouldn't be good for my back, and people would think I was being an idiot. So I wouldn't do that. Yeah, so armrest, self-explanatory, 2 cup holders, very good there. No real cup holders in the passenger side door. Not really. There is a storage pouch there, but I wouldn't call it a cup holder. And what I do like to see is these are both heated seats. So both passengers in the rear do get heated seats. Not cooled, but heated. So overall, you know, short, if I was in here for an hour, no problem. I wouldn't want to be in here for 2 or 3 hours. You'd need to do some roulette as far as moving people around for comfort. But the seat itself is very comfortable. Again, lots of leg room for me. Again, shorter legs, both for the driver and the rear passenger that's set for me. So pretty good layout. But again, low roof line here gives you quite a high window height. Again, doesn't feel claustrophobic or anything. It's nice and bright. The cabin is extremely bright with that panoramic roof. So overall, the layout is good, but for me, long-term travel as a rear passenger in this vehicle would not be ideal. But again, the average consumer is buying Prius. It's 2 or 3 individuals, or mom and dad and the kids, or whatever. So yeah, as I traditionally do in these videos, I'm going to attempt to open the hood on this vehicle and embarrass myself of it taking longer than it should, or pinching my fingers, or all the silly things that I can do doing this. This is actually running because we have the air conditioning running because it's so bloody hot here today. So this vehicle, again, it has a prop rod, no hydraulic cylinders holding it up. And this is a running 2025 Prius. So right now the fans are running, the air conditioning is running, so it's all running on full electric at this point. Is that there is no gas engine actually turning over at this point. Everything that you're hearing is coming from the electrical system. So this is our conventional 2-liter hybrid drive connected to the eCVT, and this one is an all-wheel drive to boot. So normal things that consumers can see: coolant for expansion tank for the regular radiator, coolant for the expansion tank for the inverter on this vehicle because it does go from high voltage to low voltage in the system, and washer fluid. There's probably a dipstick here somewhere. There it is. Aside from me being a dipstick, that is the dipstick to change your oil. Check your oil, not change your oil. And again, technicians are going to play under there most of the time anyway. So yeah, that is the drivetrain of the 2025 Prius non-plug-in hybrid. So I'm Randy at Kentville Toyota. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've gotten something useful out of this and that you are entertained if nothing else. Thanks. Watch, subscribe, send comments, anything you want. Thanks again.